legislation, the word adequate is quite difficult to understand. And companies are, when they look at this and they need adequate security or adequate technology to protect themselves, it becomes very difficult to quantify. So my advice to companies is to work with IT security companies or IT partners that can help them manage that adequate word. You know, in the process of litigation, if there is a breach, companies will need to prove that they've done enough. And by doing enough, I would suggest that, you know, the technology is important, but the partnerships you have are important as well.
The key questions remain in place as they have done. You know, do we as a company have the right culture of data security and awareness? Do we know where our privacy-related data is stored? Can we detect when we've been breached? Do we have a breach plan, including you know, how to stop that breach and how to communicate the fact that we've been breached?
The priorities that organisations must focus on have to fall in line with the core principles of what GDPR is, and the three main principles are the privacy by design, the accountability of the data, and an instant response plan. So what do these three things mean? Well, the first one is about making sure that the information that we hold that is relevant to GDPR is secured and accessible by the right people. So before we can even attempt that, we need to have an understanding of where this data resides.
The GDPR specifies that you use state-of-the-art solutions to protect that personal data, which in most cases is likely to mean solid best practices that mitigate risk. So we suggest that you do this by focusing on solutions that help stop the top causes for data loss. So it's hacking and malware, network attacks, and lost devices. So first, you get a top endpoint protection solution in place. And this will defend your users against malware, ransomware, exploits, and defend your endpoints against hackers. Secondly, ensure that your network security and your firewalls are in place and they're working to stop the bad guys at the door before they reach the users. And third, you encrypt all your hard disks and you make sure that mobile devices are secured and managed to reduce the risk of losing data when devices are lost or they're misplaced or they may be stolen.
So, prioritize the predictive prevention of malware. The regulation suggests that you employ state-of-the-art security. And you have to ask yourself, do we really have state-of-the-art security, or have we simply added layer upon layer of additional controls to bolster your less than state-of-the-art malware protection?
The next principle that I think we can achieve in this short space of time is being able to react when something does happen. So this is the instant response plan. We're going to need visibility. We're going to need an understanding of who's touching the data, who has access to it. Varonis provides a framework that not only provides visibility, but also context and the sensitivity of the data, but also those employees that are touching it.
You need to decide what technologies are going to help you with that incident response, that data classification and categorization process. Tools such as DLP, CASB, UEBA are going to help you to do that data inventory process, map your data flows and be able to respond in a timely fashion so that you can prove to the supervisory authority that you have taken steps to have adequate control and security of that personal data.
First and foremost, will the new product just be a like-for-like replacement for an existing solution? Or will it enhance my detection and response capability by consolidating multiple solutions into a single platform? We've all seen this scenario where customers have bought multiple best-of-breed products, and that's led to issues around the products talking to each other, and you lead to a complex environment. This complexity ultimately results in increased risk.
GDPR is if you do look at technologies specifically for it, make sure that they also add some other value to the business. So they're going to give you storage savings or efficiency savings elsewhere, or make your staff more productive. If you just add a sticking plaster for GDPR, it's very likely that it's going to create a silo and it's going to be costly in the long term.